Hey, welcome to the shop. Today we're going to do a little stick welding with 6013. Now it's not an electrode that I've run a whole ton, but I have been experimenting with it and I think I have some things that'll be pretty helpful. Now if you've run it a lot, please let me know in the comments below any tips that you have and we'll all learn together. But let's get right into what a 6013 is. So the 6013 actually has some meaning to what those numbers are. If you're not familiar with the numbering system, we'll be real quick about this. So the 60 is the strength of the weld metal in thousands of pounds per square inch. Now to put 60,000 psi or pounds per square inch in some kind of a relatable format, let's just think about this. So if you had weld metal that was a 1/4 inch by a 1/4 inch, that's about 6 millimeter by 6 millimeter square, and you were to pull straight on it, that would have enough strength to lift up a mid-sized car. Now when you start bending on it or loading over and over again, that changes the equation quite a bit, but it's pretty strong stuff, and this will often exceed the strength of your base metal itself. Now the 1 means that it can be used in all positions, right? So whether your weld is sitting flat like this, horizontal, vertical, or overhead, you can weld in all those positions. The 3 at the end of the 6013 just indicates what type it is, that it's a Rutile Electrode. We won't dive in too deep on what that means because it's not really important to be able to use it. Now let's talk about what makes a 6013 good to start off. One of the things is it can work great with an AC power supply. So we're going to do a little bit of welding with this Lincoln Tombstone AC 225 machine, and then later we'll go ahead and run a bead with a DC inverter type machine. But it works well with all types of machines. So let's go ahead and get right into the welding and talk about some of the important things. So I have this machine turned on and set to 75 amps. Now here's an electrode amperage chart that I put together that shows, based on material thickness, what size electrode you might want to use and then what amperage you could set it to. Now this isn't any kind of law or anything, they're just guidelines to get you started. So I've got it set at 75 amps here, and I'm going to go ahead and run a bead along on some right around 3 millimeter 1/8 inch thick plate here. Now as I run this, I'm just focused on my fundamental things that I've covered over and over again in my Basics for Beginners video. If you haven't seen that, check out that video in the description. Let's just take a minute and do a quick review of some of these fundamentals. So the first thing that's going to be really important is your arc length, right? And that is how far the end of the electrode is away from your workpiece. Now the challenge with stick welding, of course, is that your rod burns off, so you're going to have to work your way in. But in general, you don't want a gap really larger than about the diameter of the metal part of the electrode here, right? So since I'm running a 3/32 of an inch or 2.4 millimeter electrode, then I want to have about that much gap. Now unlike 7018 where you can kind of just drag it along, with 6013 if you get in too close you'll end up kind of sinking into the slag there and making a mess. So you do have to hold, from what I've found at least, a little bit of a gap here on this and maintain that, but you don't want it to get too long. That's going to create a lot of problems for you. Now let's talk about rod angles. The first one that's going to be important is called your work angle. That is when you move, up and down, in and out of the piece like this. And for a fillet weld like this, I'm going to want to be about 45 degrees in. And since I'm sitting in what's called the horizontal position with it sitting on the table, I'm actually going to drop it down just a little bit more to make sure that I get material up onto this upper plate here and avoid any undercut as I move along. The other angle is going to be your travel angle, and that is in the direction that you're moving. So with stick welding, you typically want to be dragging by about 10 or so degrees, 10 or 15 degrees like this, and that just helps to push that slag back behind you, right? So when I put those angles together, it's something like this. As far as movement goes, I'm not intentionally doing any sort of manipulation here, though you could do a very slight weave, but I wouldn't get anywhere outside of where the weld pool is. I'm shaking around just a little bit here, and it is zoomed in quite a bit, but I'm just doing my best to stay right in the center as I drag along. So that works out pretty well for an electrode like this when you're welding it. Most of that spatter is, just on the surface and scrapes right off pretty easily. I've removed the slag here, and as I chip this off and brush it, I'm pretty happy with how this weld looks. you know, it came out pretty nice. So you definitely can get a pretty good result with 6013. Now let's look at one of the biggest problems that you can have when you're running a 6013. Now watch this weld as I'm running it. What I've done here is I've turned the machine down from 75 to 60 amps, and I'm working my way along, and it's a little bit more difficult to distinguish between the slag and the actual weld metal. It's difficult in general on a 6013, but especially if your amperage is turned down a bit, and that can lead to a problem that I've run into on this electrode before, and a lot of people have talked about. What that is after you run, your slag looks okay, but once you chip it off, you can see that, you know, it hasn't fused to both sides of the plate, right? You've ended up with, you know, some slag in between, and it's not fused to this top plate at all. And usually when I've seen this, it's an indication that there's not enough amperage. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what this is like when we're running on DC. This is an inverter type machine, and I've set it to 70 amps here. And so I'll go ahead and strike an arc and work my way along, and you can see it looks pretty much the same, though it is a little quieter. We're not getting that you know, iconic buzz of the buzz box. I don't know why, I just love running those old machines, or old style. This one isn't old. I wish I kept the old one that I had, but they're just kind of fun. But either way, you know, on a modern machine like this, it runs pretty well. Things are going in fairly smooth. And as I chip the slag off, the result is not all that different. So, you know, whatever kind of machine you have, this electrode can work well all around. But you do have to look out for that trap where you haven't really fused to both sides. So where would I use a 6013? Well, really the main place that I've ever used them is when I've had to weld some sheet metal. I've found that they work a little bit better for that than some other electrodes. Now, in general, for anything that's, you know, 1/8 of an inch, 3 millimeters thick or thicker, I'm gonna run a 6010 or 6011 or a 7018 when I'm welding it. That being said, you can do a great job with 6013. So keep these things in mind. Make sure to maintain the proper arc length, use your right rod angle, and travel at a consistent speed, and then pay attention to those settings. Make sure you're not set down too low, and I think it'll go pretty well for you. Well, thanks for tuning in today. If you have any questions or things you'd like to see in future videos, let me know in those comments below. And if you'd like this or learned something today, let me know by hitting that thumbs up below, and we'll see you next time.